since you don't want to really, I understand. You don't want to really go into it, but I'm gonna go into everything.
Yeah, yo, let's go. We got my man.
What's your hustle?
Yo, what up, man? It's your boy Willie Woe. Molly in the building, and you're tuned in to the best podcast show out there. Tuned in to All Hustle Podcast, and we want to know
What's your hustle?
Hey, yo, man, I am super honored, Molly. I got my brother, man, somebody I have the most respect for so many years in the building. We have
Salute, man. Salute.
hip hop icon, 1/3 of the legendary group, but we ain't gonna even really stress that. But salute to the Lords of the Underground.
Stress it because
He earned that.
Icon right here, man.
He earned that. He earned that. Do It All Do is in the building, man. New York City. Hey, it's funny you do that. My wife said whenever I get ready to ask her for some money, she be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna hit a remix." Because after I ask her for some money, the next week I be like, "I'm gonna pay you back." She's like, "Bah." But yeah, man, we got Do It All Do in the building, man. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Hey, man, shout out to Mr. Funky and DJ Lord Jazz, man.
Lord Jazz, what up? The whole Low Tug team, man.
Right.
Hey, yo, thank y'all once again. Make sure y'all follow us on YouTube, All Hustle Podcast, Instagram. It's been a minute, man. And I ain't even drinking. This is what happens when I don't drink. Everything is All Hustle Podcast.
Keep sweating that hat. You're going to
switching
fly
hats.
somewhere. That hat
I'm
about to
switching
disappear.
I'm switching hats.
About to roll right off
You know
his
why?
head.
I'm switching hats because we got Do It All Do.
You know he's still trying to be young, right?
Councilman in the building.
He still look young,
Jersey.
man.
He's still trying to be. He still is young.
We got boy, man. I don't get younger, I get dumber. Hey, yo, man. But listen, dude, we wanted to know what's your hustle? And you know, a lot of times the word hustle has a negative connotation, but for the last few years, especially after Rick Ross came out with, you know, Every Day I'm Hustling, it's kind of changed towards, well, let me ask you, what would you feel your definition or understanding of the word hustle is?
I mean, you know, the people who were doing work traditionally, those are the ones who put the bad or negative connotation on hustle. Right. But the youth, we always create innovating, inspiring things and things that are out of the norm. Okay. You know what I mean? So hustle derived from young people, you know, seeing people who go get it. Right. In any, you know, by any means necessary. Right. Hustle is Malcolm by the window with the rifle in his hand. Yes, sir. Okay. You know, hustling is
Martin on the bridge.
Martin on the bridge.
Martin on the bridge.
Right, on the bridge.
Yeah.
You know, hustling is the Black Panthers feeding the youth and doing school programs in San Francisco and you know, hustling is people who come from nothing and they turn it into something. You know what I mean? So it depends on your perspective. You know, because that's like asking me what is success. You know what I mean?
Or what is grinding.
Right. Because everything, you know, is relative to what it is and who you are. You know what I mean? This podcast is a success, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like I know you.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
We
go back, and this is a success. To have your man sitting alongside of you, that's a success.
Yeah. And like, his name Marley Marl.
Right.
I was waiting on
and
you
I'm
to
sitting next to when I saw that, I said, okay. You know what I mean? But you know, success is relative. Hustle is a thing that is relative to whoever the person is that is going out to get it, who is doing it by any means necessary, who is not taking no for an answer, who is building something with no bricks. You know, that's hustling. You know, turning the idea into something that is solid.
It's physical.
It's physical now. You know, that's hustling. So anybody, you know, the problem is when you don't understand something, you push it away. You know, it's shunned. It's you know, because you don't understand it. Our natural human instinct says, I don't know what that is. Radar's on. What is that? It's unidentified. You know what I mean? What is that? We all do that until we get an understanding of what that is. Oh, that's a plane. Okay, all right, let it through. Oh, that's just a dude walking. Let him through.
That's whole wheat. healthy food is uncomfortable to me.
Right, right, man. You know, sugar is addictive, just like cocaine.
Hey, for the people out there who don't know where you from, man, can you let everybody know where you from, man? You represent.
What up, y'all, man? It's your boy Do It All, Dupre Kelly. I'm from that legendary hip hop group, Lords of the Underground. I reside in Newark, New Jersey, the West Ward of Newark, New Jersey. Born and raised, and right now we are at 211.
That's right. We in the bricks right now. Man.
Yeah.
It's good to be home too. I got nervous when I got off down there on 9th Avenue. I think we made a mistake, but nah. Salute to the whole Brick City, man, the whole Essex County. But look, dude, let's get right into it, man, because the whole premise of bringing this podcast to the people is a lot of people came into a few dollars. A lot of people came into a confidence, a new self-esteem, as far as starting their own business and actually taking the leap of faith to become something, or as we just spoke about, hustle. So your new endeavor, which is the community, but a lot of people don't know you've always been about the community. I mean, I can go back 20, 30 years, even during your Low Tug, Lords of the Underground days, when we had the drama squad and you would go into schools, in the high schools in Essex County,
right?
Philly. I think we went a few places.
Yeah,
man.
we did Drama Squad.
Yeah, Drama Squad.
And Drama Squad was, we were going in high schools doing community and plays that were relevant to teenage pregnancy. We did on
stolen cars.
Drugs,
yeah.
We need to do a stolen car one now again, man.
Oh, high school? Yeah, we went around to the schools, man.
And you know what?
He's been doing this for years.
Yeah, that's crazy that both.
We did Barringer.
Yeah, we did Barringer.
What was the
we
one
did
on Park, Bloomfield Ave.
we
Went
did
to high school together?
No.
We
just toured. I was acting and he was acting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we ended up linking up.
You
but
know,
I say all that to say because he's been in the community for years. So for him to be running for councilman, which we know everybody out there, make sure you go and vote for Dupre Kelly, man, West Ward councilman. If you tired of the way the city is, you know we can do better. Newark is a beautiful place.
Yes.
Essex County is a beautiful place. Make sure you follow us. And also, we're going to give you information, which Dude will share in a minute, to donate and support as many ways
We
you
definitely
can
got to
support.
back our people, man. We definitely got to back our people. So,
Yeah.
on the show, you're going to see a link where you can donate, man. We got to support us, man.
Yeah, but I also want to know, too, now, if for the younger people that might be interested in getting into politics, because they don't really teach us that in school. So we lose the value of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really important.
yeah. I think on a local level, it's more important than anything.
And they don't talk about that.
Nah, see, local politics actually trickles up. You know, like federal politics, state politics, sometimes they don't trickle down to the community and the residents of your neighborhood, of your block. They might not notice it or see it. So they say, it doesn't affect me. I ain't into no politics. But local politics is very important. The first question I ask anybody is, do you have children? You know, and if they say yes, or if they say no, I say, well, do you know of any children? Do you have nieces, nephews? Do you have children that live in your neighborhood?
Yeah.
And if they, most of the time, everyone does. So if that is true, why we don't vote on the school board election?
Right.
Why is that the lowest?
About that, though.
You know,
we don't understand the connection between your councilman leading up to the mayor, leading up to the state representative, and you know what I mean? Like, we just always think the president, that's the main election, but the people that we're voting for locally, and correct me if I'm wrong,
man,
Make change.
those are the ones that affect who's running for president.
well, it affects numerous things, but local election is super important because those are the laws that affect you directly in your community.
Right.
You know, like whether you vote or not, it's, you know, the way parking goes, it's going to affect you. The way you vote or not, the way garbage pickup goes is going to affect you or not.
Yeah.
Whether you vote or not, the school board election will affect your children. Whether you vote or not, the city budget for the way lights is paid for, turned on, bright lights, quality of life in your neighborhoods, speeding.
Whether you vote or not, I'm still gonna stop by and ask you for $20.
Right. That's what I love about this podcast, because it's real, man. It's all about the hustle. You know what I mean? So what's good, Mal?
Hey, man, I just want to, man, you know, it's an honor sitting here next to you, brother. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
respects to you,
I
brother.
remember being younger and I turned on TV and I seen Funky Child, man. It was like, wow, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? The whole grimy with the light and the back, you know what I'm saying? The hood, all that shit was fly, man.
Word,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? That was amazing back then, brother.
We were just talking about how going into, how turning from the children of the funk going into the adulthood, man.
Right.
So that was an amazing time,
French Montana.
What up with French?
Nah, he was hearing that beat. That's why.
Yeah. French.
Yeah.
Shout out to French, man. We squashed our difficulties doing Drink Champs.
Right.
It was just a misunderstanding, man. I just, I'm big on paying homage. That's the way I came up. Even if you was in the streets, the people that came up before you in your neighborhood and your block, you show love to them guys. You know what I mean? And that's how it was for me in hip hop. We wasn't really asking for anything, just except for the respect. Right. Respect is big, and when you feel like you don't get it, and people get rich off of something that you created, you gotta kind of check them or kind of tap in with them. Right. And we did that. We good. So shout out to French.
Y'all handle that like gentlemen, like grown men. You know what I mean? It wasn't any kind of sideways going on.
Nah.
And I think that's missing in today's culture, man, especially in hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
I also wanted to know too. Now, let's get to the basics of it, because for our listeners and viewers, to get into politics, if you was talking to your nephew or your son, what would be the first 3 to 5 steps they would have to do? Do they have to
get into
politics?
I tell them don't get into politics. I don't want people to. You know what? It's kind of I'm gonna always keep it a buck. It's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Mm-hmm. Because I'm in politics because I have to be in politics right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is that there is nobody who represents our culture that is really sitting at the table. When I first ran in 2018 for councilman at large, I learned a lot. Okay. But I learned so much that it was at the point where I couldn't turn around now. Mm-hmm. Like if I turned around, I would be quitting on my people for the information that I learned. Mm-hmm. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm not a quitter. I'm not a sucker. You know what I mean? So I felt like that to me. Nobody would have known if I would have did it. They were just like, oh. Yeah. But I felt like if I stopped now, as much information that I found out and learned, I'll be a sucker if I stop now. And it's not easy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I will be the first hip-hop platinum selling artist to ever be elected to an official political seat in the United States of America. May 10th. But shout out to Sean Barrow, who is on his way to being prime minister of a country. Like he's the first to be elected in the world. If they would have elected me last time, I would have got him. But that's what we have to do. We have to put our culture at the table, and politicians make laws, legislators make laws. There's different branches of politics, but legislators make laws. And executive branches gets to, implement and submit those laws to be voted on to become law. Mm-hmm. So if we have and this is a conversation that me and Pac had. I didn't understand what he was talking about. We was 20 years old.
He was always yelling at me. I don't know why.
Pac 20 years old. Me and Pac got cool because we almost got into a fight.
Rest in peace to the great.
Yeah, shout out to Pac, man. It's my brother, man. I truly miss him because I know he would probably be the governor of California or the mayor of Oakland at least. You know what I mean? So we're on tour. It's Tupac's tour. We have Jeanne with my man Fam, who's on the road with them, singing "Hey, Mr. DJ." We got Patra. Right, we got Patra, who was the reggae queen back then in the 90s. She was fine as I don't know what back then. And we had Outkast opening up. It was Tupac's tour. Biggie was on the road with Pac sometimes on the bus when we took bus, but most of the time we took a van. It's fresh. We ain't still in motels. You know what I mean? With the outside rooms. You know what I mean? Outside. So Pac, everybody was sharing vans. So Lords, we shared a van with Pac and Thug Life. Okay. Thug Life was on the road with him. So it's a 16 passenger van. Thug Life and Pac is about 10 of them. It's about 6 of us. And so one of our members was late, like damn near every day. Wow. right? And Pac was cool, but I guess he got tired of it this day, and it's his tour.
Yeah.
So he started talking in third person to, you know, the Thug Life dudes, and they was just laughing at anything he said. Yeah. And I just felt like, you know, he's kind of going in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's talking in third person. No, it was more like he dissing us now.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even though my man was wrong, I started talking in third person to Lord Jazz. You know, on some Newark, you know, I'm on my jersey, you know what I mean? Like, I just couldn't let him punk us, but he was right. You know what I mean? So he started talking about, you know, these East Coast dudes on CPT time, they always late and other. He was kind of going in. So I just started talking to Jazz like, you know, people act like they from the West Coast when they really from Baltimore. You know, I'm talking back like that. So it started getting tense to where we start, because he in the back seat and I'm like right by the door. We started looking at each other, started getting tense. And then right then, one of our members got on the van. And then it stopped. So I'm like, all right, well, now he can take over. You know, and then it just kind of halted. Fast forward, we do sound check, we come back. Later, I hear somebody knock at the door. I look out the window, the curtain is Pac. He got his hands full too. So I go to the phone immediately and call Lord Jazz. And I'm like, yo, Jizz, Pac at the door, because he witnessed the confrontation. And he like, where? He was like, with somebody? I was like, nah, I'm just letting you know. Just in case, I don't know what's going, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, cause Pac was feisty, you know what I mean? He was a feisty guy. So I open the door and I just look at him. And then he like, you gonna let me in? I still don't say nothing, but I let him in. There's 2 beds in the motel room. He sits on one. He got a Newport behind one ear, blunt behind the other, and 2 40s in his hand. He hands me the 40. He cracks his, drink it, puts it down. I don't know if he lit the Newport or the blunt, but back then you could smoke in the hotel rooms. Right. So,
and the ones with the outdoor.
Right. So then he just goes like, he looks at me and he's like, yo, you know you was wrong, right? And I was too, but I was taking up for my crew.
That's right.
So I look back at him, I still don't say nothing, and then he puts out his hand and he like, that's why I rock with you though. He's like, cause you was wrong, but you was taking up for your team, you was taking up for your man. He's like, that's stand up. You know, and then he was like, and then we just started getting into, you know, talking about what we doing in hip hop. How many? He was like, dude, we got to sell millions of more records because we got to turn those millions of fans into voters. I'm like, I'm 20, you know what I mean? I'm like, voters, what are you talking about? But I'm still listening, and he was yelling all of the popular people at that time. He was like, Common got to do it in Chicago. He was like, Tretch got to do it in East Orange. Redman got to do it, you and Redman got to do it in Newark. And he was kept going on, and he was like, we got to go back to our communities and don't move out. I'm like, word? He's like, yeah, we can't move out because we got to stay there and create nonprofits and create youth initiatives. And he was like, if we got it out, he didn't say out of the mud, but if we got it, you know, from our city, we got to give it back to our city. This is how he was talking. So I'm like, wow. And then he was like, we got to do something that we don't want to do. Now, that's a 20-year-old at that time. My boy, my nephew 20, he 21. He don't talk nowhere near like this, you know what I mean? So, and he was like, that's how we gotta run for an elected office, because if we become elected officials, then we get a chance to make in effect legislation. I'm like, legislation? He like, yeah, man, that's the only way. If we make laws, or the laws that they ain't made for us, they ain't never been made for us. So we gotta. So I'm looking at this guy, man. I'm like, wow. And everything that we talked about in that hotel room that day, I've done, except win the seat so far. And that's going to happen May 10th, 2022. But everything he said, man, it was just amazing to me in reflection. Not then.
Right.
You know what I mean? In reflection was just like, wow, this guy was really ahead of his time, man. So I can only imagine what he would be, man. Because he died at 25. So I can only imagine what he would have become.
Well, how difficult is it, or was it for you to make that transition from hip hop and being a platinum selling artist, a part of a platinum selling artist group, into the political world? I mean, are you still doing tours? You still doing shows? Or I know it takes up a lot of your time.
Well, first of all, hip hop has always been political. Hip hop has always been the culture that stood up for the have-nots, the voiceless, the unheard. That's hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, 2 years ago, and you know the message.
It's a little different now.
You know,
it's changed a little.
I'm talking about the initiation of it. The culture, the root. We can't forget that.
And there still is some artists out there that's more conscious.
But even now, it's still a rebellion. You know what I mean? It's still people who feel like they, you know, we might not be as youthful as them anymore, but they feel like they speaking up for their culture in the way that they know how. You know what I mean? So we can't just totally just disrespect that because we not in them streets like we used to be. You know what I mean? We not a part of that situation anymore. We above that a little bit, trying to encourage them. Yeah, I mean, you know, it gets wilder and wilder, but
Lincoln, you know what I mean?
Speaking of the streets, man, are you with the campaign? Are you really in the streets, like helping in the communities and trying to?
Yeah, I'm really out there, man. Yeah, so in the West Ward of Newark, New Jersey, we have about 70,000 registered voters. So that means that there's at least maybe 60,000 homes, doors that you have to knock on. Well, I can't tell our plan, but
right.
You know, there's doors to knock on, and some people might knock on 100,000. Some people might knock on 50,000. So far, you know, since June, July, I've probably knocked on close to 20,000 doors already, man. You know, in the West Ward.
And you fed, because I came out to support you, and it was an incredible event where you go out and you actually feed the community.
Yeah, man.
And you don't do it just once. I mean, I was gonna do it one time. They ain't give me enough on my food stamp card for the community, so I fed my neighbor, and they moved in. But I mean, you've done this a couple times.
Yeah, man. You know, we've done a lot of community things. Like I said, man, I have a nonprofit organization called 211 Community Impact, where we focus on literacy, we focus on education, and we focus on things that impact the community, like filling in the gap. So what I mean by filling in the gap is that things that are already happening in your community and they might not be happening in a certain area, then we fill in the gap around those areas. Okay. So if the city is doing a food drive on the main avenue, downtown Newark, where everybody goes, we going on a number block. You know what I mean? In between the avenues. They might not go there. You know what I mean?
Some of the blocks where you used to get into other things, now you can come and get some help, some support, some food.
But what I've learned, though, by doing food drives and book bag drives and all that's dope. But there's levels to everything, right? And I look at that as I look at that as a Band-Aid. You know what I mean? A Band-Aid might not heal it. It might just, you know, stop the bleeding at that time, but it doesn't. It doesn't really. What I'm learning, man, is that community goes here. It has a ceiling to it, but political power that really fosters change is what you need. Community and political power. Everything has to work together. You need the residents. You need the business owners. You need the educators. You need our seniors. You know, and you need programming that's going to change the mindset of the youth. And the people that's out there that's creating the noise, so to speak. You know what I mean? You need to change their mindset. And our people that's coming home, you got to have a re-entry program for them that is qualitative. You know what I mean? Like something that they can relate to, actually do, and get back into society in a proper way. Or you already know how they're going to get back into society. You know what I mean? So everything has to work together. Because if it doesn't work together, I don't care what elected official we got in that seat. It's not going to happen. If you not look, I don't live on your block. So I can't tell you, you walk out of your house, get into your car, get through the driveway, you pull your garbage out, you know your neighbors. I might live in that same city, but I don't live on your block. I can't tell you what's happening day to day on your block. I need to come ask you what's happening. You might say, yo, dude, at night, man, it's a big rodent problem around here. But I don't know that because I'm there in the daytime. I don't see that. You know what I mean? But you giving me day to day of what's happening. That's the only way that I'm going to be able to help you make change around your block. So we got to do it together. No matter if we don't do it together, I don't care what elected official you put in that local seat. It's not going to happen. If he just sitting in the seat or if she just sitting in the seat, that ain't about nothing. We got to really be out there with the people. We got to really talk to the people.
Put hands on. I'm glad you said that too, man, because one of the things I wanted to ask you was how important is it for people that don't live in that community, so to speak, to either vote or urge family members and friends that do live in that community to vote? Because I've always felt like, you know, I grew up in Orange. I grew up in a lot of places, but primarily I was raised in Orange. But I always had family and friends in Newark. So for me to be in Orange, which is what, 2-3 miles from Newark, and act like, oh, what happens in Newark doesn't affect me, it does affect me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I shop in Newark. I eat in Newark. I work in Newark.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, so how important, like, is it? Do you feel it is for those that live near the West Ward to call their friends or family or come out and support your movement or initiatives to better the West Ward, so that it kind of, you know, transcends to other? I'll be using big words. I went to school for a couple months. I just be trying to use them. I hope I'm using them right. But transcends to the, you know what I'm saying, to the people. But you understand what I'm saying?
Nah, I think it's super important though, man. It's important on so many different levels. Let's even break it down a little bit. If I live next door to you, right? Mm-hmm. And you clean up, you sweep in front of your house, your lawn is manicured, and you know the driveway is always, everything is always just immaculate. Mm-hmm. And then I never clean up the trash in front of my house. It brings down the value of your crib. Yeah, it brings down the value of your home. Even it becomes even blight. Yeah. Your friends pull up and be like, who you live next door to? Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's just on a minute level, on a minute note. Mm-hmm. But the West Ward is built so the West Ward of Newark, New Jersey is built so funny. We have about 37 districts that borders South Orange, Irvington, East Orange, Central Ward of Newark, North Ward of Newark. So it borders so many different areas that
it's your next door neighbor.
It's your next door neighbor. Right. So if you don't take care of your home, of your place, then it will definitely affect and trickle down to your neighbors. Mm-hmm. That's why I build relationship with the town of South Orange. I'm building relationship. I have a relationship with the mayor, Ted Green of East Orange, with Councilman Burgess, who deals with District 3. I believe it's the 3rd Ward of East Orange that borders South Orange Avenue. Okay. One side is Newark. You cross the street, it's East Orange. Also with Councilman Vic in Irvington, and the mayor, Tony Voss, in Irvington. I built relationships with them because my ward borders them. I have to have relationships with them. You know, if I'm gonna keep the border straight, you know, if I'm gonna keep that part of the West Ward safe, I need to partner with them. You know, so it's very important. It's not only just partnering with your neighbors, but I think that should happen as well. When I came up, there was block associations everywhere. There's still some block associations, but few far in between now. I think that people should they should police their blocks. You know, I know when people was hustling on our blocks. You know, I'm from 19th, between 13th Ave and 1 Deuce and 12th Ave, but we say South Orange Ave too, because we was in between the Graveyard Boys. You know what I mean? So it was from Grove Street to 18th Street, and from South Orange Avenue to really to Central. But when you got to Hollywood, that's when it turned to East Orange. So in between that area, you know, there was hustling going on. But I was the type of dude that if you was hustling on my block, and not even in a disrespectful way, I would tell them, yo, we eating off of the block. It's school time. Let's get every kid on this block, every child on this block, we getting them book bags and we getting them school supplies. We getting this, we getting that. Such and such mama, they, you know, mother's a fiend. They don't have Thanksgiving. We cooking Thanksgiving dinner for the block. You know, all that type of stuff. You know, and Redman was right along with me because he lived in between the blocks too. And we would sit on our porch and talk about those type of things of what we wanted to do. And it's just bugged how it's coming into fruition now. You know what I mean? We talked about selling millions of records. We did it. I'm talking about sitting on my porch. We talking about putting a community center in our neighborhood, a health center in our neighborhood. Now I'm running for councilman where we can actually, you know, implement those things in the community.
Ideas,
you know, so it's just amazing.
I also want to commend you too, because I got to say this, because I've watched you on some of your feeds. You salute Principal Akbar, I think his
Yeah,
name
shout
is.
out to Ak,
Oh
man,
man,
that's
he's
my
doing
guy.
some amazing things, man.
Yeah,
I
shout
really
out to
salute
Ak.
that brother. But also somebody is it
And
OSG?
OSG.
OSG.
Yeah, off
with
school
you, Dave
grounds.
Dash, Redman, you guys. What is OSG?
OSG is called Off School Grounds, and it's created by a brother named Dennis McKinney and his wife, Denise McKinney. And he's a former educator, former principal who partnered with principals from all around the country.
Nice.
And he started off with, I think, about 40 or 50 principals, and now they're over 100 principals. We have senators, we have congressmen, we have councilmen, and we have entertainers who all collaborate together. Right now, I'm missing a call right now because Eddie Milton, who's part of our, we call it the commission, who's part of our commission, you know, and Kanye's part of the commission. So what we do is we have meetings at Kanye's ranch before he sold it, but Dame still has his ranch.
Yeah, I saw you out there. I want one of them jackets.
Yeah, no doubt. So what we do is we meet and we talk about how we can put our money in certain communities. If you're part of the commission and you have a great program going on, how can we help and utilize our influence to help? Right now, there's a situation going on with Eddie Milton in Indiana. He's the senator of Indianapolis, Indiana. And I'm missing that call because I'm doing a podcast.
Well, we about to get you out of here because
it's all love though, man. But I'm just saying that because right now is over 100 people on this call who are going to help attack this problem that Senator Eddie Milton is having in Indianapolis. And you know, people is power, man. Presence is powerful. When you show up, presence is powerful. You know, it's like if your son's getting bullied and you just tell a bunch of fathers, come with me to the school. Of course, you're not going to touch the little kid.
Right.
But the little child probably never bother your child again because he feel like I see all of these men. I'm not messing with him, and I'm not going to get my uncle or my father for all of them.
Yeah, we're gonna dead this right here.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So presence is powerful, especially when you got purpose attached to it.
Definitely.
How can the people that don't know vote for you? Because a lot of times people see things and don't know when the vote is coming up. How can they vote for you? And you know what I'm saying? How can the people?
Well, in Newark, New Jersey, man, we have 5 wards. Last time I ran a citywide election, which was for councilman at large. So that means the entire city can vote for me. Wow. I received about 5,000 votes last time. That was about 1,000 votes from each ward. This time it's a little different because you don't need that many votes to win. Wow. You know, and it's only the people who live in that ward can vote for you.
Okay.
You know, but people can still support.
Yeah, the rest of us can urge and speak to our
family
and
they can repost, they can talk to their friends. You can text to donate. If you text Kelly to 973-846-2211, text Kelly today. You can donate anything from $1 to $2,600.
Give them that again, because we're also gonna post it at the end of this episode.
Yeah, man, just text Kelly Kelly to 973-846-2211, and when you text that, you can donate $1 to $2,600, and we can't accept more than $2,600 because of the electoral law. That's how they keep the whole game fair, you know. But politics, man.
It's deep.
You know.
You got any social media, anything you want to give out?
Yeah, you can definitely follow me. For political things, man, you can follow me at Do It All for Newark, and it's just how it sounds: DOITALL, the word FOR, Newark. That's NEWARK. Do It All for Newark, and that's Twitter, that's IG, that's Facebook, and my personal IG and Facebook and Twitter is Do It All Do, and that's DOITALLDU. You know.
Okay. And can I perform at your event?
Come
when
on,
you win?
let's go.
Okay.
Come on now.
You heard it right
I
here.
don't want to go off script, man, but do you still get the urge to get in the booth or get in the mic or record something and just?
Let me tell you something, Maul. Like, a part of why I am representing like I'm representing with the politics is because of hip hop. Okay. I'm never going to stop being hip hop. Right. I am what hip hop looks like grown up. Right. I'm never going to stop. I don't care what thing I'm getting involved in. I will forever be hip hop. Yeah. You know, you're not asking the the Rolling Stones, will they ever stop being rockers?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm doing it because of my man Pac. For one reason, when he said I might not be the one, but I'll spark the one.
Right.
You know, maybe we'll have a hip hop president one day, even if it's not me. But maybe we'll have one day.
Right.
Or maybe we can influence those who make hip hop to understand the power that they truly have.
Yeah.
Right.
What if Drake ran for some prime minister in Canada?
In Canada.
Right.
With all of the fans that he has,
And push the
or
power to
even if
vote.
even if he doesn't feel like he's political savvy enough, what if he picked the candidate and
Right,
ran
to
him with his
support.
fans?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Power.
Yeah, it's power. And what if all the influential and inspirational people in each state, each city, did the same thing?
That's why Trump liked the rappers.
Yeah.
You know? So now now they don't have to just utilize us,
Right.
but they have to listen to us, because now we have the power to create the laws.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
And if we get the power to create the laws and the jobs, then it's our fault when it's messed up. Who we
Yeah,
gonna complain to?
Yep.
When we're in power and we're in control of creating, we only complain to our culture. So I hope I inspire other people who are in the hip hop, know that it doesn't end with the music. It doesn't end with a movie. It doesn't end with fashion. It doesn't end with just being a artist. But it can go further. And
Word.
you know, hip hop doesn't even have a union.
Wow.
You know, we don't even have a union for the artists. But that's something that I'm talking to my Senate friends about. That's something when I brought Shine here to become a sister city with Belize City, Belize, and talk to Mayor Rajay Baraka, and now Newark and Belize City are sister cities. These are conversations that we having now, and that's because of hip hop. You see what I'm saying? And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Didn't you create something with Roxanne Shante or some hip hop? Do they still have that, like a hip hop? It's not a museum. It's like a collaboration. I think I saw a few of you guys. It wasn't the commission. It was something. It was kind of like I thought you were working on a union or something like that.
No, we are. I've been mentioning it for the longest. You know, so
Okay.
shout out to Killer Mike, who's also been in that conversation. You know, everybody wants it, but we got to go through the politicians.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? We got to
yeah.
go through the politics. In other words, we got to go through the people in power. And the people in power, this system has been set up for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
You know?
And they ain't gonna let it go easily.
No, you gotta win it.
Yeah.
You gotta earn it and then get to the table and then bring, put your foot in that door and be like, yeah, come on. You know what I mean? So that's what it really is, man. And that's what I'm doing, man. So on May 10th, 2022,
May 10th.
it's bigger than me.
Yeah.
You know, and even if you don't live in the city of
bigger
Newark,
than
New
Newark.
Jersey,
May 10th.
it's bigger than Newark too.
It's bigger than Newark.
May
It's
10th.
bigger than
May
Newark.
10th.
Even if you do not live in the city of Newark, New Jersey, man, support. If you love the culture of hip hop, this is for us, because now you'll have somebody who is in an elected official seat who you can call, who you can get access to. You have access to some sort of power, and you can use Newark, New Jersey as a blueprint to do things in your own city.
And yep.
You know?
Yep.
So
Well, we're gonna definitely have you back, man, because it's a lot more. We have a lot more questions, but
I think that's
I gotta,
strong. You running for the
curfew my probation
same
officer.
area where you grew up at.
yeah, man.
You giving back to your community.
Yeah. That's gonna be an honor
Nobody
too.
don't do it. Somebody got to do it, man.
You know, I ran
don't
through them
want me to
streets,
do it.
man, and we did some crazy things in those streets. Growing up, and as I think back, man, it is just gonna be an honor to be able to govern where I actually went to school at, played in the parks.
Especially the laws on the brothers. I mean,
Yeah,
prisons is filled with brothers, man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but it's time to educate them too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of times nobody was telling us. We had to get it. We had to go figure it out. And when we figure it out, a lot of times there was lessons that was taught because we made mistakes in the sense of the law's eyes. But most people that I know that's down right now that I know, and most people that came home, them dudes don't want to be in no trouble.
No.
They just want their family to eat. They don't want to. They don't want to do it the way that they have to get it. So we want to teach financial literacy. We want to do all of those things to show them, and then we want to show them that people that were down, how they came home and got it, and how we want to utilize that to show other brothers, man.
Because we created a culture of confidence. This younger generation are very confident, which is great. But where I feel we lacked was just what you were saying, the education with that confidence. Because they're confident, but they don't know how to use it or the best way to, finance and okay, yeah, you can get the PPP loan, but what you gonna do with it? And that's what this show was about. We trying to help them show, like, okay, you can start a loan care service, but this is how you do it properly. Everybody, even me, I started a couple companies. Nobody told me about filing taxes, and I just thought, hey, I got a company, boom, and then I registered a company. Now I got an LLC. I ain't know how to file taxes. Now I owe them money. So, you know what I mean? It's a misconception thinking that just because you got a bag, that you can triple that bag just by starting a company. It's a lot of other details that go in with that, and we just want to make sure people know.
Man, it's so many ways to get money. I don't think, I think a person over 25 years old, and if you live in the communities that we come from, I might be talking 18 or younger. People know how to get money. They can go get some money.
Yeah.
It's not about getting money. It's about utilizing that money to make more money for yourself. It's making that money work for you. That's what we weren't taught. We weren't taught about that. We were just taught to chase the money. And that's the first mistake right there. If you chasing a bag, you already made a mistake.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Chase your passion. Chase your purpose. That type of thing. When you do that, the money will come. And I'm talking about experience. When with Lords, we made millions of dollars and then I lost it. And then losing it, I had to revert back to, wait a minute,
I'm tripping. When you said that.
You know what I mean? And then I went and got it back. But how I got it back wasn't the same way that I initially attempted to get it. When you chasing and running after it, it keeps running from you.
Yeah.
But when you create things that kind of welcomes it into your life, man, it's so plentiful that you'll be okay when you're not chasing it. You think of other ways to go get it, and it comes to you.
Hey man, words of wisdom from my brother.
That's what you hustle
and your
right
next
there.
Councilman for the West Ward in the city of Newark, Mr. Dupre Kelly. Hey, let them know how they can donate one more time, brother.
Man, please text Kelly. Text Kelly to 973-846-2211. That's text Kelly. Text, don't call it. People was calling the number. The number's not working because it's text.
That's gonna be on our next show. How to use the new iPhone 13.
Yeah, text Kelly, man, to 973-846-2211. Man, you can donate anything from $1 to $2,600, but please don't go over $2,600 because I gotta send it back if you do that.
We'll talk about that. Yeah, send it to me. I take bounce checks, fake checks. Nah. Hey, listen, man, we're gonna make sure we
give a shout
have
out to the legendary Do It All. You know what I'm
man,
saying?
thank you, Ma.
Y'all please vote. If you don't vote, follow, do whatever you gotta do, share.
Repost.
Yeah, give some respect to my brother, man.
Put
He's
tattoo
a
on your
legend.
chest.
You know what I'm saying? He's making change.
Definitely, man.
And we gotta support him 100%.
Thank you,
Hey,
man. I
Dude,
appreciate
brother,
that.
thank you, man.
Thank you,
You're
man.
welcome back
I'm happy for you
anytime,
too,
man.
man. Good
Thank
to see you, man.
I'm always being
It's
your
a
life,
pleasure
man.
too,
Thank you,
bro.
thank you.
All right,
Appreciate
no
you, bro.
doubt.
Yes, sir.
Word.
Hey, y'all make sure y'all follow us on all Hustle Podcasts, everything.
Everything.
And we want to know,
What's your hustle?
Huh? What is it?